All right, it says find the specific trig ratio. So it's asking for sine of A. We're not solving for anything. We're just stating the ratio. So if this is the angle, sine, so katoa, it's going to be opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite 40 over, because this is opposite, this is hypotenuse, over hypotenuse. So the sine of A equals 40 over 41. Sine of A here, so opposite over hypotenuse, so 40 over 50, which is 4 over 5. Cosine of Z, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so katoa. So my adjacent is going to be 32, my hypotenuse is going to be 40, so this is going to be 32 over 40, and that could reduce by 8, so you get 4 over 5. Again, cosine of Z, so my adjacent, my hypotenuse, so that's going to be 20 over 29. Tangent of A, so tangent, so katoa, so opposite over adjacent, so opposite over adjacent, and then that's 24 over 7. And then tangent of C, so opposite over adjacent, 21 over 20. It says find all the trig ratios for angle X. So that means sine X, cosine X, and tangent X. So sine, so katoa, so 15 over 39. Cosine, adjacent over 39. And tangent is opposite over adjacent. And then reduce where you can reduce. It looks like these all can be reduced by 3. So these values you're just going to enter into your calculator. Now when you enter them into your calculator, you're going to need to make sure that the calculator is going to be in degrees. And this is what I mean. So I need to find the cosine of 135. When you click on the calculator like Desmos, you see where it says radians and degrees? Right now it's automatically in radians. You need to switch it over into degrees. So now when I type in the cosine of 315, it's going to give me the value that's in degrees. So that's going to be 0.7, and then that rounds it up. So we're going to say 0.71. The sine of 120. .867. So 0.87. Convert each radians to degrees or degrees to radians. Remember to convert between it, it's the unit that you want canceling out. So since I want degrees canceling out, the 180 degrees is going to be on the bottom. For this one, the 180 degrees is on top, and pi is going to be on the bottom since the radian unit will cancel out. But then from there, you just have to simplify it. And so for 225, that's going to be 5 pi fourths. And then because you can reduce by 5, etc. And then for this next one, 7 pi 6. Well, the 6 and this, that's 30, so that's going to be 210 degrees. It says determine whether or not the equation represents a function. Remember, you want to get y by itself. So it needs to be y equals, and then it's not a function if there's a plus or minus. So there's not a function if there's a plus or minus. So if I get y by itself here, subtract the 4, but then when I square root here, now I get this plus or minus, and so because of that, it's not a function. Because there's ambiguity. Y is by itself, there's no plus or minus, so yes, it is a function. Likewise here, in getting that by itself, if I were to subtract the x squared, because I took the square root, you get that plus or minus, so therefore it's not a function. And the reason is, remember, for every one input, there needs to be one output. Well, if I pick a value for x, my one input, it gives me two outputs, a positive and a negative version of that output. And that's the reason why it's not a function.